Number 10, Kathy DeBoer, a 5'11 senior from Firth, Nebraska, is ranked 12th in the nation in hitting with an average of 4.6 kills per game. And this is number 9, Mary Kay Waller, a 6-foot junior from Lawrence, Kansas, who is ranked 3rd in the nation in blocking with an average of 1.96 blocks per game. Tonight, you'll see the best in hitting and blocking. From the UNL Coliseum in Lincoln, Nebraska, Nebraska ETV Sports presents NCAA Women's Volleyball. Tonight, the Huskers take on the University of Notre Dame. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Kelter, and with me is UNO volleyball coach Janice Kruger. Now, she has put volleyball on the map at that university. She has been named NCAA Coach of the Year twice, back in 1983 and in 1986. And Janice, tonight is a big one for the University of Nebraska. Now, you're playing Notre Dame at home. You're expected to win, but the pressure has to be there, too, and you know all about that.
Well, I think anytime you get a chance to play at home, you're going to have to deal with some pressure because the fans, the home crowd, want to see a great performance, and I think we're going to see one here tonight.
What about the style now of this Nebraska team? What can we look for tonight?
I think you're going to see some power hitting from a couple of their stars, DeBoer and Stair. They play a very sound defensive game. You'll see a lot of fantastic digs and rolls throughout the match. Nebraska this year is also serving the ball very well, and I think it will be very interesting to see how well Notre Dame handles the tough serving.
Okay, let's go to the starting lineups now, and our public address announcer, Steve Johnson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Nebraska Volleyball. Tonight's match features the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and our own Nebraska Huskers. Non-starters for Notre Dame, number 3, a 5'11" senior, Kathleen Morin. Number 5, a 5'9" senior, Gretchen Kraus. Number 6, a 6-foot freshman, Rachel Hall. Number 7, a 5'8" senior, Jill Suglich. Number 8, a 5'11" sophomore, Kathy Cunningham. Number 11, a 5'7" junior, Whitney Schumann. And number 15, a 5'10" freshman, Colleen Wagner. Starters for Notre Dame. Number 1, a 5'9" freshman, Amy White. Number 2, a 5'9" senior, Kathy Baker. Number 9, a 6-foot junior, Mary Kay Waller. Number 10, a 6-foot junior, Maureen Shea. Number 12, a 5'10" junior, Zanette Bennett. And the captain for the Fighting Irish, number 4, a 5'8" sophomore, Taryn Collins. Notre Dame head coach is Art Lambert, assisted by Patty Hagemeyer. Lineup for our own Nebraska Huskers. Number 3, a 5'8" freshman from Burwell, Nebraska, Becky Boley. Number 4, a 6'1" sophomore from Winona, Minnesota, Carla Baker. Number 5, a 6'2" freshman from Rochester, Minnesota, Linda Barsness. Number 6, a 5'8" freshman from Doniphan, Nebraska, Geraldine Overmiller. Number 7, a 5'10" sophomore from Dubuque, Iowa, Delisa DeVolt. And number 23, a 6'1" freshman from Wahpeton, North Dakota, Sue Hesh. Starters for Nebraska. Number 1, a 5'10" freshman from Oak Lawn, Illinois, Val Novak. Number 8, a 5'9" junior from Ogallala, Nebraska, number 10, a 5'11" senior from Firth, Nebraska, Kathy DeVore. Number 12, a 5'9" junior from Sydney, Nebraska, Barbie Young. Number 14, a 5'11" sophomore from Waco, Nebraska, Virginia Stair. And the captain of the Nebraska Huskers, number 2, a 5'9" junior from Springfield, Missouri, Lori Endicott. The number 7th ranked Nebraska Huskers with an 18-1 record are coached by Terry Pettit, assisted by Jay Potter. Officials for tonight's match are Marty Procco and Dave Spencer.
Set to get this one underway, and it's going to be a good one. We're going to see Nebraska with a 14-match winning streak at home, Janice, and that is incredible. And everybody knows how tough it is to win here in the Coliseum.
Well, I think anytime you play Nebraska here at home, you're going to experience one of the toughest matches that you're going to play all year.
Janice, it was said that Notre Dame likes to come out early and kind of set the tone of things, but on the other hand, I don't think Nebraska is going to let that happen playing at home.
I don't think so. I think we're going to see Nebraska. I think they're going to be receiving the first ball here. I think we're going to see some real fine play by them, and Notre Dame's going to have to get used to this crowd, and they've been pretty loud already, so I think it's going to be a great match.
I heard you talking about Nebraska with some multiple offenses. You want to explain that a little bit?
Well, I think you're going to see they're running a 5-1 offense where they have one setter and 5 designated hitters. You're going to see Virginia Stair and go in for a lot of quick attacks, the slide, the A's, the B's, the quick attack next to the setter. And this is going to be something that Notre Dame's going to have to quickly determine how they're going to defense that.
Here we go. Notre Dame will serve. Taryn Collins to serve for the Irish. And we are underway. Good save by Collins.
It's a free ball.
And Kathy DeVore getting things started for the Huskers. Side out Nebraska.
I think we have an injury on that last play.
Incidentally, when we get the opportunity, we should point out that one of Notre Dame's best, Kathy Cunningham, suffered a dislocated shoulder and is not in action. Lost for the season. Tough blow for Coach Lambert. This is Virginia Stair with the serve for Nebraska.
Got a back row attack.
Out of bounds. Too long, and that was Kathy Baker. Nebraska up 1-0. Set by Collins. Little dink. That time, that is Carla Baker finding the hole in the defense there, Janice.
Yeah, that was a very quick attack. Defense needs to be ready to react to that very quickly. Virginia's serving the ball very well. I think she's right now second with defensive aces. There goes one.
That is, again, Virginia Stair. 3-0 Nebraska.
I think we're seeing the tough serving from Nebraska already in the first few points of the game.
And again, Kathy DeVore off the block. Right now, it looks like Notre Dame not passing very well either, it didn't look like, Janice.
No, they're not, and that's going to make it real difficult for them to play with Nebraska. They're going to have to get that passing game going so they can get some type of attack. There we go.
Good save. And DeVore again with the dink.
Now there's their star.
Zanette Bennett finally breaking up the run by Nebraska, and that's what Lambert talked about earlier. Let's take another look at this.
That was a nice down-the-line hit.
Bennett with the serve. Saved by Collins.
We had a under the net violation. She stepped over the center line.
Lori Endicott will serve.
Now this is their top server.
She has 41 service aces.
There's another one for them.
Unbelievable.
She serves a floater serve, makes good contact with the hand, and you'll notice as the ball comes over, it's really moving well.
The set. That time, Mary Kay Waller with the spike for Notre Dame. Waller, the one to look for Notre Dame. Well, there looked like a defensive lapse on the part of Notre Dame.
That was a nice play by Lori Endicott. She went up as though she was going to set the ball, and the last minute dropped her hands and let the ball fall over to there.
Kathy DeBoer serving for Nebraska. Collins sets it. And again, this time coming in from the left side. The right side was Val Novak.
Yeah, Val Novak can be a very important factor in the game. She's a left-handed hitter, hitting on her strong side and the right side, and a lot of teams have a difficult time in defending that.
Collins with the set.
That was called a carry.
Nebraska 7 and Notre Dame nothing, and Coach Lambert says let's take a timeout. Right now, Nebraska in total control at this point.
Yeah, this is kind of what I expected to see. The home crowd, their court. Notre Dame's been on the road for a few games. Key player out. I think they're really going to have to pull together as a team, and I know that's something that Art wants his team to do this year in order for them to do well.
It looks like at this point, Dennis, Notre Dame having trouble handling that serve. They don't seem to be setting much of an attack.
Well, they're really not getting the ball to the target area for the setter to run any type of combination plays. You'll see her coming off towards the 10-foot line and having to throw the high outside setup, and gives Nebraska a lot of time to put up their defense.
The serve by DeBoer.
There's another pass that's off target.
Set.
Just out.
Just out the time. So side out to Notre Dame, and number 1, Amy White, freshman out of Mishawaka, Indiana. Different type serve. Here's another dink. That one by number 8, Angie Milliken. Excellent timing. We're going to take another look at it now.
That's a well-placed off-speed shot. Looks as though she's going to hit the ball hard, and she lays it in there short. Just
big hole in the middle, though, there, too.
Yeah.
Janice, here we go. This is Virginia Stair, again on the serve.
No, I think that was Barbie Young.
Was it?
Yeah, she's our defensive specialist.
All right. Jeanette Bennett. And again, in the middle, this time, that was Virginia Stair. Let's take another look.
Okay, this play set up. They have a right side person there, and Val Novak is also a setter, so it keeps their offense very quick.
That's twice. Good save. Again, trying for that little tap. This time, Notre Dame unable to get set up, and so Nebraska with the point.
Nebraska's really mixing up their shots well. It's really keeping their defense off balance.
9-0.
They're going to have to get a little quicker game going, although they did score through the block on that play.
Maureen Shade that time. Getting through the block. Here it is. Just by.
Now they're going to need to play some good defense here in order to score some points.
There was a great one by Virginia Stair. She put that one away. Nebraska in control in game 1. Val Novak to serve for the Huskers. Collins to set. Good block.
Good timing.
Carey.
Looked as though she tried to go over the block, but it wasn't there. Notre Dame's working very hard.
for some side outs. They need to score some points.
That serve goes long.
Can't hear you at all. Oh,
So Notre Dame with it. The set. This time the dink doesn't work. Bennett.
nice save by Barbie Young.
Huskers working well right now. We're going to take another look at it here on the replay. There it is, off the tap. Angie Milliken serving for Nebraska now. 10-0 Huskers.
I can't hear. I can.
Collins sets Bennett. Bennett again. Nice save. Nope. They keep it alive. Huskers playing well right now. Kathy DeBoer. That one I didn't see. Was that deflected off of, I think, Maureen Shea? Let's get another look and see.
They're taking Kathy DeBoer over the smaller outside setter for Notre Dame.
That time, Collins setting it up nicely for Mary Kay Waller, and she drives it home. Taryn Collins serving for Notre Dame. 11-0 Huskers. This time, not set up that time. That was Lori Endicott.
Just tried to go with a quick set off of something that was a little more difficult and just didn't quite have success with it. They're going with a little different strategy here. They're trying out Nebraska's short service receive, and it worked for them.
Notre Dame with the point. Irish now.
Now this is something Terry Pettit said earlier, that they will do the real short serve in front of the 10-foot line. As long as they continue to get a piece of that ball, they might be able to slow their attack down a little bit.
Good play by Taryn Collins that time. Watch the little tap.
Very alert move by the setter. She saw there was an opening there.
Right in the middle of the Husker defense, and Terry Pettit wants to take a timeout. Notre Dame has started to play much better. Maybe they've settled down a little bit, Janice, but it didn't look like Nebraska's passing on the last two series were set up very well.
Not as well as it was earlier in the game, and I think that will definitely give Notre Dame a chance to get into the match. They've kind of dug a hole for themselves here. They've got a long ways to go to get back into it, though.
Watch this one now by Taryn Collins, who sets this up. Here's Bennett coming over for the spike. Good block by the Huskers, and then Collins just sees the opening in the middle and taps it across. Very alertly done. You're looking at Notre Dame. We talked with Coach Lambert earlier, and he was talking about what a big win it would be for the program, Janice, but the Irish are going to need a lot of big wins because they don't get that berth into the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, in their conference, they do not have the automatic qualification where Nebraska does. So they have to play well out of region, in region. So.
Collins with the serve for the Irish. They trail 11-3. Kathy DeBoer. Dig out that time by Baker. Good block by the Huskers. Lori Endicott and Virginia Stair. Let's check it once more.
It's great timing on the jump.
Back to serve is Virginia Stair for Nebraska.
I think she had a big string of points the last time she was back serving.
This time over for Notre Dame, Mary Kay Waller again. Waller, one of the players we featured at the top of the show, starting to flash the form that we had expected. 6-foot junior out of Lawrence, Kansas. Here's Annette Bennett on the serve. And again, Kathy DeBoer looking for the opening.
They had several players coming towards the net on that play. It seemed to mix up the blocking for Notre Dame, leaving an opening for Kathy DeBoer. Again,
good block by the Huskers. Collins. Kathy DeBoer.
They've been getting one-on-one situations on the outside, and that's Nebraska's just going to really hit away if they keep getting that.
And again, a little tap over the net. Tough play to defense.
Yeah, their setter, Collins, is doing a great job of reading that weakness right now in Nebraska's defense.
Both teams have been able to score in that regard. Here's Waller on the serve for the Irish, trailing 11-3. That one just a little long. So Kathy DeBoer will serve.
Now I think he kind of let that one go a little bit.
Setting up the left-handed. Spiked by Novak. Good block. And coming over out of nowhere was Carla Baker that time. Let's take another look. The middle blocker, Carla Baker, comes over and finds the hole again. And they catch Notre Dame player out of position that time?
Yes, she did. She caught it just on the inside of the block. We have a back row attack.
Well, the Huskers have been in command from start to finish, and now Coach Lambert is going to take a timeout. Well, we could talk about this Notre Dame club. They have been on a 4-game streak. Incidentally, Art Lambert is looking for career win number 100, and things are going to have to change if Coach Lambert is going to get that victory, because right now Nebraska is doing just about what it wants to do.
Yeah, they're in total control, and I think a lot of that has to do to the fact that their serving and their passing is being much more effective than Notre Dame. Notre Dame scored their 3 points on 3 passes that were placed well to the setter and let the setter be able to run just a little bit quicker offense. They're going to have to do that to play with Nebraska here.
DeBoer will serve. 13-3, Huskers. Notre Dame has had trouble with the serve all night. Again, the left-handed spike by Val Novak. Boy, that's got to be tough.
She's really catching the blocker, not penetrating over the net, and Val is such a great hitter in that area. She'll use the block over and over. There, they got a pass.
That one coming that time from Maureen Shea, but it was just a little long. You can just barely out. And so Nebraska has won game 1 by a score of 15-3. And at this point, Janice, you got to think Notre Dame has definitely got to regroup as the teams change sides here, but it didn't look like they were handling Nebraska's serve at all, setting up the pass at all. The passing was very, I thought, very rugged. It just didn't look like they were into the flow of things.
No, I think that Art's probably going to try to do something about that in this next game. To try to get the passing working for them, because they're just not going to be able to run anything and to compete with Nebraska if they don't change that.
There's a difference in the style on the serves, too. I noticed Nebraska going a little deeper, Notre Dame with that line drive type of serve.
Yeah, they're trying to serve the ball down the line to Nebraska, but they're just really passing the ball very well, playing well together as a team, and I know this is something that Art was wanting his team to do. I think the injury to Cunningham has kind of thrown them maybe out of their game plan, and we're seeing a little of that affect them right now with that key player out.
These, we're getting a shot at one of our officials over at the net. These officials, it looks like they didn't have too many tough calls there in game 1 with a 15-3 score. What part does an official play? As you know, we always talk about in basketball the home court advantage sometimes. What about in volleyball?
Well, I think it's also there with the home court in volleyball. Their main job is just to make sure that everything is kept even. The match is played evenly. They need to call a very consistent match, allow both teams to do just about the same stuff, and keep control of the match, but they shouldn't be a big factor. You shouldn't really notice them.
Janice, I didn't see Nebraska in the game 1 did not substitute. We might see that
possibly here in game 2 a little more, if nothing else for defensive purposes. Right now, as we look out there, number 8, Angie Milliken, will be serving for Nebraska as we start game 2. All set for action. Bennett.
That's one of those unforced errors that you don't like to see happen.
We were looking for that stat just a little while ago. I was going to point something out to you. We'll try to get to it in a minute. Here's Bennett now with the spike. Good block.
She was able to use the block that time. They didn't quite go up together and didn't reach over together the same, so she was able to deflect the ball out of bounds.
Set up for DeBoer.
That was a nice dig by Angie Miller.
Here's DeBoer again, the dink, and it's there. Kathy DeBoer coming in once more and alertly just over the 2 blockers. Watch it now. DeBoer with good timing.
She's so effective with that shot because she hits the ball so hard. They're really dug in, ready to dig a hard shot.
1-0 Nebraska. Virginia Stair with the serve. Good block. DeBoer and Carla Baker timing it so very well. Boy, they're tough on the front line.
Yeah, it looks as though Notre Dame's trying to go attack a little bit more from the right side, but I'm not sure that's going to be real effective.
Served by Stair again.
That's a nice save.
Nebraska doing a good job keeping it alive. Good volley going on. Collins, good block. And again, Nebraska coming up with the point. That was probably one of the more impressive volleys we've seen.
Yeah, the Nebraska's really denying them the opportunity to even get the ball over the net. Their blocking is one of their strengths.
Well, Coach Art Lambert with a very, very young club. Right now, Nebraska's putting on a clinic. Here is Stair with the serve. Mary Kay Waller, the spike. That time, Notre Dame.
They were able to create a one-on-one situation with a gap between the 2 blockers, and that's something they're going to have to continue to do to beat the defense of Nebraska.
Jill Sudlick checks in for Waller. Waller was ill coming into tonight's action.
Oops.
Net violation on the Huskers.
There was that short serve again that set up that point.
Sudlick on the serve for Notre Dame. It's 3-1 Huskers. Kathy DeBoer finds the opening in the middle once more in the middle of that Notre Dame defense. Let's check it once more. Kathy DeBoer, one of the most feared hitters. Notre Dame again caught out of position. Good block by the Huskers. Good save by that time by Angie Milliken. But side out to Notre Dame. Amy White, the freshman. Left-handed serve. Long.
They're going to need to serve aggressive to get back in the game, but they can't afford to have too many errors.
Kathy DeBoer will check out, and checking in is Becky Volley. Well, you're watching Husker Volleyball on all of our stations on the Nebraska ETV network.
I think we're going to see a jump serve here.
Collins to Bennett. Bennett is so strong. She is the junior out of San Antonio, Texas. Strong outside hitter. Now DeBoer checks back in for Becky Volley. Serving is Kathy Baker for the Irish. There's an excellent spike that time. That's Carla Baker.
Yes. Placed it right back in the corner where nobody was.
Now checking out is Carla Baker, and coming in for the Huskers is Barbie Young. Collins setting it up. The dink works. This time coming up with it was number 10, Maureen Shea. Again, spotting a weakness in the Husker defense that time.
Their block is so hard to hit around. I think they're going to try to go over it and tap it in there short. They might have some chance that way.
Shea on the serve. And again, with the spike. Let's check it again.
Just
very well
quick.
set up. Look at the kill that time by Virginia Stair.
It was so quick, the defense didn't have a chance to set up.
Played at Centennial High School here in Nebraska. Well, service ace. Well, we want to talk about that number that Lori Endicott had going. Right now the serve by Val Novak.
That's just a bullet coming over the net.
And Mary Kay Waller for Notre Dame. Side out Notre Dame. Taryn Collins will serve. Collins, sophomore setter out of Oak Park, Illinois. What can you say about that one?
They worked so hard for that side out, and they just threw it away.
Angie Milliken. Zanette Bennett. Good kill by Bennett.
She's got a real powerful arm swing. It just busted right through those arms.
Bennett, outside hitter from San Antonio, Texas. 5'10" junior. To set. And again, finding the hole in the defense is Virginia Stair. We talked about a hitting percentage for Stair of 58%. What does that really mean?
Well, it's like a batting average. She's hitting 580. That's extremely good to have.
A lot of people probably are not aware of just how good that is.
That's exceptional.
This time, Endicott, long and in the net. It'll be side out Notre Dame. Jill's, actually it's pronounced Suglik. Jerry Johnson almost got me, or rather Steve Johnson almost got me saying it. Over the net, a dig that time by Carla Baker.
They're running a lot of quick attack with their middles away from the setter, and it seems to be causing a problem for their middle blockers to get out there and stop that.
Endicott set the last play up. Tapped that time right at the net. And again by Carla Baker. Set by Collins. Long. Far side by Amy White.
I think we're seeing the dominance of Nebraska in the Mideast region.
Collins now setting it up. Away from that time. That was Kathy Baker with the kill for Notre Dame. In the left-handed serve from Amy White.
Had a blocking error in the net there.
And a blocking error on the part of Notre Dame. Side out Nebraska. Look how far back Kathy DeBoer is. Different styles.
This really causes the ball to drop. You see it land there right in the center of the court.
This one's long. Notre Dame, so point for the Huskers. We're going to get a timeout. Art Lambert has taken his jacket off, and I think he's seen enough right now. Nebraska continuing to dominate here. At this point, Janice, again, what's some of the things that Art Lambert is going to have to do?
Well, I'm sure he's just trying to boost his morale, maybe give him a little chewing out to try to get some emotion going. They're going to have to play with something more than what they're playing with right now to get back in this match with Nebraska.
Well, they've had a pretty good road trip. They defeated Texas A&M, but there does not appear to be a real good comparison in terms of passing on the part of Notre Dame as opposed to Nebraska. Nebraska seems to be doing a great job of that.
Yeah, you'll notice that Lori Endicott will really not have to move too far to take that first ball, and that makes a big difference in running the attack.
Collins with the set. Tried the tap. There it is, over the block that time, and getting it is Angie Milliken. Let's watch it again.
Just really right through it there.
Boy, thus far, Lori Endicott doing a nice job of setting things up. To say, Kathy DeBoer, by the way, and I guess we should mention it, she had 13 kills in the K-State win, and she passed Karen Dahlgren to become Nebraska's all-time kill leader.
Boy, that's something you don't see too often, is a net serve by Nebraska. They really do not make mental errors like that very often.
Now the serve by Notre Dame. In the net. Net violation on the part of the Irish. Let's take a look at it. There it is on the second one.
Right there on her follow-through.
Collins setting up Bennett. Good dig by Nebraska. That may have been Kathy DeBoer. And again, getting it down is Angie Milliken. Outside hitter from Ogallala, Nebraska. Take a look now.
Just really powers the ball through the block.
Angie's playing well tonight. Carla Baker serving for the Huskers. In total control. Setting it up for Bennett with the dink.
I'd like to see her keep hitting away, I think.
I think you may be right. Now the Irish call timeout once more. It's 11-1. If you just joined us, Nebraska won the first game very convincingly, 15-3. We talked to Terry Pettit earlier, Janice. He said, well, we're going to play well tonight. Did he get that indication maybe from a practice?
Well, I think that they've been playing well all year. I've watched them play several matches, and the intensity of this group of young ladies has just really impressed me. They seem to be pretty driven, and they're playing very well.
Carla Baker serving for Nebraska. The Huskers are 18-1. Going deep that time. Bennett trying for the spike. Good block that time by the Huskers, but Bennett getting it through the block. Maureen Shea, middle blocker for the Irish. Kathy DeBoer at the pass. And there's the kill by number 14, Virginia Stair. Janice, Virginia's also had her share tonight. Right through the block. This is Val Novak. That's got to be a tough.
There's a pass.
And this time Bennett. But she is very, very tough. You wonder just how strong this Notre Dame team would be with Kathy Cunningham in the lineup. 5'11" outside hitter. She started, she had an outstanding freshman season. He has recruited very well.
Yeah, I think, you know, he's done a nice job.
There's Bennett, a little tap. And there is Stair once more. Very alertly that time. That was quick. Janice, watch the replay now. Outstanding job.
Transitions right off of the defense back into their offense.
Collins setting it up. Good save. Good block. Trying that time. Never giving up on it. Maureen Shea back for Notre Dame. However, let's take a look now. Block.
A little bit too obvious there. They had 2 blockers on her. She really didn't have much of a chance.
Notre Dame again having trouble getting set up.
Good.
A lot of teamwork going on out there now. Excellent job on the part of the Huskers. That is it. Let's take a look at it. Describe this one. Look at this.
Looks to be a little mix-up there on defense.
On defense, exactly. Notre Dame out of position once more. And so, game 2 going to Nebraska. 15-1. At this point, you want to think about regrouping, Janice, and I'm sure Coach Lambert knows he has his hands full. We must mention a couple of things. We mentioned Kathy Cunningham being out. Mary Kay Waller also was not feeling up to par coming into tonight's match, and so you wonder just how effective she is, although I thought she was playing about as well as anybody for the Irish in that first game.
Yeah, I think that she's doing a pretty good job considering she's got a tough job having to block and play the middle for the Irish, with Nebraska being as quick as they are on their attack. At
this point, Terry Pettit's Huskers playing, as we said, very, very well. They also happen to be leading the Big 8 Conference with a 6-0 mark. And it looks like we've got the opportunity to see the Huskers pretty much at their best, although sometimes, you know, you play up to the level of your competition, Janice, and right now Nebraska just having no trouble whatsoever. I think coming into this match, we felt this was going to be a pretty good test. Now it looks like maybe the Western Michigan game, match coming up on Saturday will be probably a lot tougher. Yeah, I think potentially that might happen. Nebraska is playing very well, very consistent. Their serving has just really, I think, winning a lot of matches for them pretty easily this year. Serving teams off the floor almost. Be sure to tune in to Nebraska ETV every Tuesday night during football season for Cornhusker football at 8 p.m. Host Don Gill and Husker linebacker coach John Melton provide an in-depth analysis of each week's game, along with interviewing 2 player guests each week. That's Cornhusker football Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock. Janice, you mentioned, I think, earlier that Nebraska appeared to be attacking Notre Dame in one fashion, and then it looked like they might have changed strategy just a little bit in game 2. Did we gloss over that point? Well, I think early in the match we were seeing a lot of high outside sets, and Kathy DeBoer just going in and really hitting the ball hard. As the match got going, I think we really saw a lot more of the quick attack with Carla Baker and Virginia Stair out of the middle, where they were pulling her away from the setter and really causing the Irish some problems on their defense. The other thing that was happening, you know, you mentioned Kathy DeBoer standing way back of the line and having her serve drop very quickly. That was causing the Irish some problems. But I thought Val Novak's serve was also a line drive type of serve, was also causing some real frustration. Notre Dame didn't seem to be getting into their passing attack whatsoever. No, they're serving the ball very well. I think that it would be a very frustrating situation if you don't have the players that can really step in and take charge and pass that ball up to their setter. Of course, Nebraska doing an excellent job up front. And right now, you know, I think the gal that surprised me, I knew Virginia Stair was going to be good after we were looking at her hitting percentage, but I thought Angie Milliken has played extremely well, the outside hitter out of Ogallala. Were you surprised at how well she's played?
No, I saw Angie Milliken last year in the NCAA tournament really come through for Nebraska. She's not a real power hitter, but she places the ball real well. If she's given the opportunity to hit the ball down quick, she will. Is playing very consistent for him at this point in time.
By the way, what we're watching now is a serving contest at the end of game 2. You want to rate these? That last one.
They're doing pretty good at getting it in the target. Oh,
there's a net serve. Let's see what this one is. Let's judge this guy on form. Well, rarely do we see that. Let's take a look now at stats on the kills. Nebraska with 12 and Notre Dame with 8. But look at the service aces, 3-0 again. And Nebraska with 7 blocks to nothing for Notre Dame. Of course, and that's not surprising. We've seen that all game long. Now, there's another stat that I wanted to point out that you were explaining to me, Janice, which I thought was interesting, and I don't have it in front of me. The gal that had 2 blocks per game. Now, we mentioned about a hitting percentage of 58%, which is outstanding. 2 blocks a game, I think, also rates in that category.
Yeah, I think they're probably almost averaging more than that right now with 7 in the last 2 games. Nebraska has been noted as a great blocking team. They're very intimidating at the net, extremely aggressive, and with their good leaping ability, they really intimidate a lot of the hitters, and hitters will make some errors and they'll get the blocks down for a side out or a point.
Well, there we are. You know, this doesn't look like a bad vantage point, but I want to tell you something. I'm a little uncomfortable up here. I'm glad you're where you are and I'm where I am, because especially when Kathy DeBoer or Zanette Bennett of Notre Dame gets into position for the kill, that thing looks like it's coming right at us.
It's going to be interesting in this 3rd game to see what the Irish do. Nebraska is rolling like a steamroller here, and they're going to have to play extremely hard to come back out and to stop this match from going in 3. It will be neat to see the heart of this team.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what Notre Dame does in game 3. Right now, you know, we talked about this possibly going 4 sets. I think the Texas A&M match that Notre Dame had went 4, but there were a lot of volleys. And in this one, we haven't seen all that many. It seems like Notre Dame has been put away fairly quickly, maybe because they're not into they didn't get into their passing attack.
No, they really didn't give their setter a chance to run the offense like she's going to need to stay in this match.
Notre Dame serving, Jill Suglick with the serve. Kathy DeBoer, good block by Notre Dame. Up in a double block, Amy White and Kathy Baker. That time timed very well. Notre Dame with a 1-0 lead. Is that the first time they've had the lead, Janice?
I think so.
Good block that time by the Huskers. Lori Endicott and Virginia Stair. And we'll see this one now. Again, this is a timing maneuver.
Very well timed. Blocking the ball down quickly.
Here's the serve by the Huskers. And then, again, another example. This is almost in desperation. Really not getting set up into that attack. Kathy DeBoer with the kill. That one right through the block again. Again, a very strong Kathy DeBoer, with the leader on this Husker team in kills.
I think we're going to start to see Notre Dame get a little frustrated here.
Collins sets. This time, that one, Kathy Baker. Violation. Kathy DeBoer out of Norris High School. And that serve on the part of the Huskers. That's the 2nd one.
Yeah, but I
you
don't
put
think...
the whammy on him, I think, Janice.
I shouldn't have probably been here.
Amy White for Notre Dame.
They're trying a different strategy here, trying to serve the Huskers short and see if they can eliminate that quick attack.
Good block by DeBoer. DeBoer coming up with it. at the net.
She's playing with so much poise this year. It's great to see.
Nebraska now with the serve. Collins trying to get...
Nice save by Collins.
Kathy DeBoer on the kill. Bennett. The setter Collins. Now they found the middle of the Husker defense wide open, and just dropping it in was Amy White. Notre Dame 18-5 coming in. We're going to get a Notre Dame substitution. Coming out is Kathy Baker, and checking in for the Irish is Whitney Schumann, junior, outside hitter from McCordsville, Indiana. Endicott setting up DeBoer, and DeBoer with the kill. Boy, I tell you what, this gal is something else. She also appears on the cover of the press guide. Look at that.
A lot of power.
Collins setting up Bennett. Huskers with the save. There it is again. Angie Milliken. Milliken puts it away.
Caught the seam of the block.
DeBoer on the serve, standing way back. Suglik keeping it alive, and Bennett blocked by the Huskers. There it is. That one, was that long?
It was just long. That's a very important factor of the Nebraska team. They've got Val Novak, a left-hander, playing on the right side. She can sneak in there sometime and take it over on that second hit with a real aggressive attack.
Nebraska leading 3-1. Schumann on the serve. Now looking at the, and again, it looked like Notre Dame out of position. Coming over trying to get the dig was Schumann. Could not get there in time. Serving for Nebraska will be Barbie Young from Sidney, Nebraska. Collins with the set. There it is, just tapped over the net again. DeBoer, the pass. Here's Val Novak. Good block by Bennett. This gal can do it all. Janice, you were mentioning the type of athletes that Art Lambert is recruiting. They really look like they're going to have a promising future.
Yeah, I think that he's done a nice job there. You can see that in his win-loss record the last 3 years. It's progressively gotten better. He knows what he's looking for, the type of player, looking for good athletes that he can train.
Let's watch this one set up again by, I'm going to say, Milliken. Excellent job of finding the hole in the defense, and again maybe out of position.
Well, she went a little bit deeper, thought Angie was going to hit the ball hard, and she laid it in short.
3-1 Huskers. Notre Dame playing much better in this game. Mary Kay Waller at the net this time.
Seems to me they're getting the ball to the setter up in her target area a little bit better.
Bennett with the serve for the Irish. Huskers keeping it alive. Looked like we had a net violation on the part of Nebraska.
This is the time for them to rally if they're going to do it.
We got a net serve on the part of Notre Dame. Side out to Nebraska, and with the serve is Angie Milliken. Notre Dame getting set up much better here in game 3. Time for the kill that time was Schumann. Error on the part of Notre Dame. Take another look. Huskers doing a good job getting set up.
Just to get back to that middle hitter with such a quick attack, it makes it really difficult for the defense to get set up.
Notre Dame now sends Mary Kay Waller to the sideline. Again, as we mentioned, she was ill before coming into this game tonight. I'm sure Lambert's going to give her as much of a rest as he can. Suglik checks back in. Here's another net serve on the part of the Irish.
That's
talking about a tongue lashing after a couple of those, Janice.
Well, that's really unfortunate. If you're teammate before you makes an error, you really don't want to have another net error.
Virginia Stair with all of those service aces. She almost got another one. Trying for the little tap. For the weakness, here's the kill by Kathy DeBoer. Here you'll see her in action, setting her up. Nebraska seems to do such an outstanding job on both sides. That time setting up DeBoer, and then coming back with that other weapon with Bow or with Lori Endicott coming up. No, Bow's actually the left-hander.
Yes.
Coming up from that right side. That's got to be deceiving.
Well,
very tough to stop.
You know, you're not used to playing against that many left-handers, and defenses have a hard time setting up against that.
We lefties have a lot of talent, don't we?
Yeah, they have an advantage.
Virginia Stair with the serve for Nebraska. 5-2, Huskers on top. That time coming up with the kill was Maureen Shea.
Their middle players are really going to need to start playing a little bit better for them, and I think we might see a change here in the tempo.
Endicott setting it up, trying to get the little dink.
They called 4 hits on that play. The blockers didn't touch it.
Amy White will serve. 5-3 Huskers, and that is the 3rd net serve. We have a substitution now for the Huskers. Coming out is Val Novak. Checking in is Delisa DeBolt, sophomore out of Dubuque, Iowa. Collins with the set to Shea. Good block at the net by the Huskers.
She looks off a little up there against those big blockers, but she got the job done. She used the block.
Used it very well. Here's the replay at the net. Kathy DeBoer, good save by the Irish. Yeah, they thought, Notre Dame thought it was out. Bennett showing one of the back official, that it went out, but to no avail. 5-3 Nebraska. DeBoer on the serve. Boy, that tough serve that drops. Bennett, that time with the kill. So we'll take another look. Watch Bennett. Boy, she gets into position, and look, watch her put this one away.
Great leaping ability. Just went right over the block.
Huskers getting set up. Angie Milliken trying for the kill. Bennett. This one blocked by the Huskers. That time coming up out of nowhere, number 7, Delisa DeBolt. Let's check it on the replay. And it's set right up for the net. Again, it looks like a set play. Sometimes, Janice, it looks like they're improvising, but that time they had set that up very well.
Yeah, they tried to use the blocker there. And I think the discussion with the official is that they felt the Irish had touched it last. But I think what he's going to call is that Nebraska touched it last and gave it the impetus out of bounds.
Okay. Very good. Notre Dame with the serve. 5-4. Irish within 1. Much better showing. Nebraska was the side out. Now we've got another substitution. Checking in is Barbie Young. Huskers substituting a little more freely here.
I have a lot of respect for Barbie Young. She's this is her 4th year here at Nebraska as a defensive specialist, and I know that that's a pretty tough job to go through all those practices, digging the hard hits by Kathy DeBoer and Virginia Stair. She's done a nice job.
Huskers with the point. 6-4. Collins sets up Bennett, trying for the dink. time, that one coming from Virginia Stair. Take a look. Lori Endicott with the set.
Pulls it across her body to an open area. I think I made a mistake there on Barbie Young. I see she's only a junior.
Again, violation on the part of Notre Dame. 8-4 now. And the Huskers in position to make another run. Young, the junior out of Sidney, Nebraska, as we mentioned. Set by Collins. Bennett at the net. Went deep with that time. And gets it home.
Nebraska is really threatening there to score a string of points.
Now it'll be side out to Notre Dame. Taryn Collins at the serve. And that's Milliken trying for the kill. Collins sets up Bennett. Can't find the weakness. And so the Irish. Let's check that. Watch it on the replays.
Bennett with a great leaping ability got over a little bit too soon and blocked the set.
On the serve is Delisa DeVolt. No question about it, Notre Dame's best effort so far. Much better here in game 3.
You'll see this happen a lot where they've lost the first 2 games. It's their only chance to stay in the match. They really put out a little more effort.
Bennett with the serve for the Irish. They trail 8-4. Good save by Bennett. Collins, little dink, almost succeeded. Looks like we had net violation on the part of
Amy White.
Okay, Amy White was called for it.
That's unfortunate. It looked as though they were going to get a rally going on that.
Here's the serve by the Huskers. That one by Angie Milliken. That one was wide, and so it is 9-4 Nebraska. Now we're going to get a timeout for the Irish. No question about it. The other thing you mentioned, trying to put it together and get something going, but probably the Huskers having a tough time trying to sustain momentum after winning the first 2 games so easily.
Yeah, that's something you also see where the team that's down 2 games will pick up their effort, and the team that has won it may relax just a little bit, especially when you beat a team 15-3, 15-1. I think that's really possible.
Well, you know, when you lose, when you're beating somebody 3 straight, there is a dominance there. But if you're on the short end of that, that is what would be considered a humiliation.
Yeah, I think so. I don't like to lose in 3, that's for sure.
Huskers with the serve, leading 9-4. Bennett with the pass, setting up Mary Kay Waller. Good save by Endicott. At the time at the net for the block was Virginia Stair. Let's watch the save now. Look at this.
It's a great up.
Outstanding job by Endicott. Nice move that time by Taryn Collins. Getting set for the set and then just dinking it over the net. Big hole that time in the Husker defense.
I think if they could keep defense, the Nebraska defense just a little bit off guard there, they could maybe score a few more points with that.
That time Endicott trying for that quick over the net. Stop, 10-5, point Notre Dame. Zuglich on the serve. It's a little dink by DeBoer, saved by the Irish. Setting up Kathy DeBoer, good block that time by Notre Dame. But Kathy DeBoer with the kill.
You know, a lot of times the hitters get a lot of the credit, but I tell you what, there's one person out there that's working extremely hard, and that's Lori Endicott. You really see the ball being placed well along the net, so the hitters have an easy opportunity for a kill.
There's a kill that time. Up. Huskers with it, save. It looked like Shea had it. Collins setting up. Very disgusted with herself is Whitney Schumann.
I think she saw an opening there and just couldn't quite get it there.
11-5 Nebraska. Virginia Stair with the serve. Little top spin serve.
You seem to be picking on Bennett a little bit on service receive.
There's the kill by Kathy DeBoer. The best way to stop DeBoer would be to keep her from entering the Coliseum. Stair will serve 12-5. Again, just over the net, tap by Shea. Now, the return is Lori Endicott.
Very deceptive.
Very heady player. Watch her now. She's been doing a great job of setting all night and then gets the point. 13-5. Bennett.
Yes.
The tap, good block by the Huskers, but they're going to be called net violation. 13-5, side out Notre Dame. Amy White on the serve for the Irish. There's Lori Endicott again, just over the net. She has had an outstanding game. Junior out of Springfield, Missouri. Collins sets up Shea. Good save by the Huskers. Another nice dig that time by Suglik. And the Irish coming up with it.
That's a good defensive effort by the Irish.
Watch the dig here. And then the kill by Shea.
That's the kind of effort they're going to need to hang in this game.
That one was Schumann. This one just over the net by the Huskers again. Not going deep with it at all, which Notre Dame expected. And there was a hole up front. Now checking in for Nebraska is Linda Varsnes, freshman, middle blocker, a 6'2" freshman out of Rochester, Minnesota. DeBoer with the serve. Huskers leading 13-5. Bennett now crosses up to Huskers. Good save there. They set up Bennett at the net. Again, Endicott trying to make the save. That one is out of bounds, and it looks like Mary Kay Waller getting set to check back in. Shea will serve. Maureen Shea for Notre Dame. Endicott setting it up. Good block, good. Huskers keeping it alive. There's Bennett.
I think that might be the first offset we've seen tonight by Lori
so far.
Endicott.
By Lori Endicott, you're right. Can't chastise her then. Very few mistakes. 13-6 Irish. Endicott. Trying for the quick kill that time. Again, keeping it alive. Endicott setting it up for Varsnes. Quick dump over the net, and that time it was DeBolt saving it. Oh! Varsnes looked like had some time, but couldn't get it done. 13-7. A little anxious. That one long by Varsnes. The freshman getting some experience now. Terry Pettit wants to take a timeout, maybe to calm her down just a little bit. 13-8. Notre Dame getting back in it once again just a little bit, but no question about it. Irish now starting to play a little better, and I think probably the way we thought we'd see them play. By the way, Janice, the assistant down there, Terry Hagemeyer, I think you also played. Did you play against her? I heard the two of you.
My senior year was her freshman year at Minnesota, and I remember, I think she ended up having a great career for Minnesota.
All set now for action. 13-8. Notre Dame with the serve. Maureen Shea. Maureen Shea with the net serve.
That's one of those things when the opposite team calls a timeout, the server needs to go back and kick that ball in play.
And that broke just a little bit of momentum that Notre Dame had going after trailing 13-5, polling within 13-8. And now with the serve, Barbie Young. Collins with the set for Bennett. Bennett with the kill. Bennett, a 2-year starter. Well, she has great leaping ability. She also participated in the U.S. Olympic Festival, you understand. What an asset she was.
I think her team won a silver medal there this summer.
Darren Collins serving now for Notre Dame. Fans starting to get in it just a little bit. Good crowd on hand, by the way. Endicott, the set. Oh, great job by Virginia Stair. Did you like it? No ifs, ands, or buts about that one. Elisa DeVolt serving for Nebraska. Serve is long. Huskers have come up with some mental errors in this one, but still lead 13-8. Here's Bennett with the serve for Notre Dame. Endicott up front. Good block at the net. Now to Barsness. Good block by the Irish. Irish doing a much better job. This time, just about the time we were going to talk about Nebraska with the mental errors. Again that time.
Yeah, this is a little bit surprising. I'm not sure what's happening. They've just let up a little bit, I think.
13-9, Nebraska. That was Virginia Stair with the kill.
Looked as though Nebraska was trying a few different things and not being quite as successful as what they normally do.
Checking in now is Angie Milliken. Played well in the first 2 games. Haven't seen much of her here in game 3. 13-9 Notre Dame. Nebraska with the serve. Collins setting it up for Schumann. Endicott sets it up for DeBoer. Good save by Shea. That one's long. Let's take a look at it once more.
Really didn't get the snap on with the wrist.
Left-hander. Collins setting it up for Mary Kay Waller. Good dink by Lori Endicott. Just put it away for the Huskers. Lori Endicott, who has played well. Let's take a look once more at what Lori has done so very well tonight. Here's Waller. Here's the pass to Endicott, and look at that. Endicott very quickly with it, and very quickly the Irish go down in 3 games. 15-3, 15-1, and 15-9. Huskers with an outstanding effort. They now go to 19-1 on the year, and Notre Dame will fall to 18-6. Incidentally, Nebraska's next outing will be against Western Michigan this Saturday. And I'll tell you what, I hope you enjoyed this tonight. You got a chance to see one of the stronger volleyball programs in the nation. And we must say that Art Lambert at Notre Dame is trying to put together.
Tonight, the best of the setters. They make it happen. Last year as a junior, number 2, Lori Endicott, was named one of 12 All-Americans. This year, she is ranked 1st in the Big 8 and 3rd in the nation in set assists. And for Colorado, number 10, Jennifer Sherlock, who comes into tonight's game, ranked 3rd in the Big 8 in set assists. You'll see it all as Nebraska ETV sets it up. From the UNL Coliseum in Lincoln, Nebraska, Nebraska ETV Sports presents Husker Volleyball. Tonight, the Huskers take on Colorado.